To be fair, since I got my Nintendo Switch 2, I have literally just played Fortnite and Mario Kart World, which kind of leaves me with a conundrum that I want to play my Nintendo Switch 2, but have nothing new to play on it. But the weather was changing. Enter Stormy Knights. Or, to put more of a point on it, Tiny Pixels Volume 2 Stormy Knights. Now, if you'd be so gracious to hit them like and subscribe buttons, or at least somewhere within the video. Hit that montage editor. We're doing this. The game's like a strategy game. It's weird. In your face. In your face. You are mine. Stormy Knights is one of them games that kind of literally is simple to play, really difficult to actually master, and mastering it you will need to be doing. As this is one of them games that when you play it, you get to learn the different movements of the enemies that actually change as you go along. As in, you get different enemies that you have to learn later on. The good. Stormy Knights is one of them games where you have to learn patterns of your enemies. And as a rule, I've never really been that good at these sort of games. I've always found it difficult to get that balance that you have to have mentally. But for some reason, Stormy Knights really kind of resonates with me, and I kind of actually do know why. I like, as a whole, you are just tactically fighting one enemy at a time. I really like the fact that the controls are really tight and kind of work really well. And that they don't try to overcomplicate things by adding loads of different moves and the like. Slash, dodge, duck, shield. That's pretty well it. But trust me, this is all you need. Especially when there's power-ups and upgrades to be had. And there are a shed ton of them, and with different tiers. All adding that longevity to your ass-kicking-ness within the game. In fact, you can actually feel the difference when playing. And with eventually the addition of a lightning bolt that you can only use sparingly, the game finally closed around me and I was set for hours of gameplay. Hours of, well, for want of a better word, failing numerous times. Each run you get that little bit further and a little bit more further, and you can see the end. And eventually you will hit that boss and you'll be like, I've defeated the boss. And then you get a kiss from the princess, and depending on if you've got any buffs on, it may put your health up or give you certain other things. And then collect some more of those medals that you use to upgrade your character, and then it's on to the next stage, and you just keep going until you eventually bite the bullet, and then you have to start again. As you increasingly upgrade your character, you can feel these runs from the start getting faster and faster, and you are reaching higher levels quicker. And whilst I found the gameplay a little bit confusing to start with, I don't mind admitting I got a little bit addicted to this one. Even if some of these runs got really intense because you knew that you had a little bit of health and you were so close to the end level. Although I did like the fact that each run kind of has a different princess in it. Kind of. Bad. Okay, so I've never been a fan of those games where you start from the beginning each time, kind of like a roguelike, I think, you know, when you get to put up your character because you've died, but you still have to start from the beginning. I think that's right anyway. Even if it's not, that is basically what it is. Anywho, it's one of those things that I've never really liked. I don't enjoy it in this game as well, because in my own mind I just want to go to the later levels and see something different instead of having to start from the beginning all the time and working my way back up there. I feel like sometimes I never get to see what the game can offer later on, which is kind of a me problem, me skill problem, but it's still there. Right then, graphics and sound it is then. This one looks retro and in all the right ways. In fact, it sounds retro as well, and again in all the right ways. Bright and colourful is the order on this one, and yeah, it looks pretty decent, I think. Even the close-up shots I have been showing in this video do actually look quite decent. The music's pretty decent. I've had to like down it because obviously I can't really have it playing for copyright reasons, but I definitely have no complaints over either of these aspects. The score. Right then, I actually really enjoyed this one, and darn damn it, it has actually surprised the shit out of me. I was not expecting to go into this game ploughing into it, wanting to play it more with that one more go type feel to it. The only feeling that I have is its longevity, which I have to admit, once you've upgraded your character fully, how far does this loop go? And if it goes really far, would you be compelled to keep going if there's nothing at stake and nothing to gain after you've got all those upgrades? But for now, and I can as always go off my own personal thoughts on this, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I quite like it, it's quite good fun, and the gameplay loop is quite decent and probably keep you occupied for a good few hours. And for the price, that ain't too bad. Like, subscribe. Thank you very much. Until next time, batten down those hatches. It's gonna be a stormy one.